Right back to work on the Real Kyper and Bourne show. We are live. What happened to our music?
It's not working.
There it is. We're live on Sportsnet 360, 590 The Fan in Toronto. Streaming always on Sportsnet Plus, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee, Jake the Snake Schultz, Derek Brandeo. So we kind of have a feeling of off the rails Thursday because we aren't working tomorrow.
Right.
Good Friday. Yeah. We had it in our contracts. We didn't even know that we have to. We don't have to work on Good Friday.
Sammy insisted.
You're bailing out our wonderful boss Fabs, who we were working, but the Jays got rained out. So
don't tell anybody that. Sammy, I told you, we look way more important if we said that it was, we don't work on that day.
We've worked, and I say this as a good thing, we have worked every outside of Christmas Day, we've always worked holidays. We've worked long weekends, well, mostly because the Leafs have been in the playoffs around that time, so we've had to, but yeah.
Hell yeah.
We finally wrote into our contract, we're not working Good Friday tomorrow, a.k.a. the Jays got rained out.
In the meantime,
yes.
It'll feel like a Friday, off the rails Thursday, because Doug MacLean will join us at the top of the hour.
Oh, good.
We did get him.
Yeah, that's good. He's been a busy boy.
He is.
He has a social life, which is cool.
I don't know whether or not his pro trainer is like beating him up, or if he's going to come in with a bad back, or I have no idea.
He's got to finish that up before he brings that beach body back to PEI, right?
Absolutely. We got a game day. The Toronto Maple Leafs are in San Jose.
Did you see what happened just before the tweets, just before we got to air about the earthquake?
No.
Literally, as I got out of my car, I see Luke Fox tweeted that they were in the Leafs serious earthquake last night at the hotel.
Really?
And
do we have a Richter scale number?
I was working as we were talking here to try to get the clip of
yeah.
but you might just have to do a narration.
Here's Luke Fox's tweet. He said, an earthquake rocked the Maple Leafs hotel in San Jose last night. Steven Lorenz, I thought the whole place was coming down. Easton Cowan,
really?
Pretty shocking. Craig Berube, no clue. I was out. Didn't feel nothing. No clue. I was out. Didn't feel nothing. Just
really keeping him up at night.
I actually tweeted everyone's like, oh, Berube must be, can't sleep these days. He's like, yeah, I'm fine.
Nobody fell into a crater or anything. Everything's fine out there.
That actually would have been like a perfect end to the Leaf season. It's like they all fell in a sinkhole and they're not playing the rest of the year.
No, not at all. Not at all. Where do you want to pick up here? Because you had an interesting article in Sportsnet.ca
the people
yesterday.
Love it, let me tell you.
Well, tell us about it.
All right. I wrote yesterday the basic premise. So we were told by Keith Pelley at his press conference that they want to retool. They don't want to rebuild. Today, there's an article. Willie Nylander says he's willing to be a part of a retool. Not a rebuild, but he'll be a part of a retool. So I thought about the question, can they be good? Is it possible? Can they come back next year in a retool and be good? And yeah, the answer is yes. You would have to be insane to say anything different.
Listen, all you have to do is go back to the Miracle Mets in 1969? Was that it, Sammy? You're a baseball guy.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Baseball guy that wasn't
did you
born
reference
for
the
20
Miracle? Did you reference the Miracle Mets?
For sure, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No.
Proof.
What are you talking about?
Meet the Mets.
What are the Miracle Mets?
Sammy, can you Google the Miracle Mets?
Sure.
For our boy Justin Bourne.
It's for me too.
Am I showing my age?
Miracle
like
Mets. This is unfortunately the first thing that pops up on every Google search now is the AI overview. But I'll
the
read
amazing Mets.
The Miracle.
Why do they call them that? Because they're amazing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The Miracle Mets refers to the 1969 New York Mets, who achieved one of baseball's greatest upsets by winning the World Series just 2 years after finishing near the bottom of the league. After 7 losing seasons, the team finished 162. Defeated the Braves in the NLCS and beat the heavily favored Baltimore Orioles in 5 games to win the World Series.
Oh,
there
my
you
goodness.
go.
They're just like the Miracle Mets.
Yes.
The article in the case is one that people who listen to the show regularly have heard me make many times. But I actually laid out if you were completely uncreative, you did nothing of these big things, no trading Morgan Riley, get rid of Max Domi, none of this stuff, and you just made 3 UFA signings. They have tons of cap space. Just signed 3 guys. What does their roster look like? The roster I ended up with, I'm going to save you the whole thought process, but new coach to me can swing this team pretty significantly. Like 5 wins different on a new coach to me. If you added basic players, Jaden Schwartz, Charlie Coyle, Darren Radish. Those are the 3 names that are UFAs this summer.
What was the first name? The 3 names are?
Jaden Schwartz.
Okay.
And your Nyes Matthew Schwartz, Cowan Tavares Nylander, which is a line has been better than people know about. Joshua Coyle Michelli, Lorenz Domi Pizzetta. You got McCabe Radish, Riley Tanev, OEL Carlo, Stolarz and Wall. I think it's a good team.
Is it a playoff team?
Yeah. It's not a cup team, but it's
okay.
you're getting there.
But like, to me, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that you're putting a Band-Aid on.
Mm-hmm.
And I want a team that is moving and trending towards a Stanley Cup.
Totally.
Not one that you just are scraping to get into the 8th spot so you could lose in the first round.
Yep.
And everybody who are your key guys. And I love like what the Pittsburgh Penguins are doing as a team. Like, it's inspiring.
Mm-hmm.
It's good on Kyle Dubas. But at the end of the day, your best players are Malkin, Crosby, Carlson, and Letang, and their runway's running out.
They view that as a transition, though, right? To their next group of their next core.
There is no next of them.
Well, they have been undergoing this transition. They got 300 draft picks or something. So, like, it's not going to be perfect. But here's the point with this.
Yes.
Is that this is the idiot version of what can happen.
Yes.
Right? This is with absolutely zero creativity. There's not a trade involved. And there is the option to my point is just to look. You add a mediocre right winger, a single D-man, and a depth C, and you're like, that's actually a pretty good team.
It's fine for 12 months, maybe even to get you in the playoffs, but there's no sustainability in it at all.
And that I totally agree with. But when they're doing this, they're doing a retool, whether you think they should or not. So we need to talk about what that looks like.
Yeah.
And what that looks like, I agree from there is, how do you then fill in around this idiot version of mine and get younger, get faster, have picks, have some of that on the way? I do think Easton Cowan's going to be a hockey player next year. And I think Nyes will be better too.
So you mentioned the pushback to what you wrote.
Yes.
And I find the pushback in itself fascinating because I've mentioned this before on the show, and I think we've talked about it, but people were so ready to turn on this version of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Yeah. It's been a complicated relationship with the early playoff exits and the promises that you thought they had with going deep and play and all these things that you thought, and some of the post-game stuff, and we had good looks and all this stuff. So there's this fractured relationship to begin with. So everybody has already made up their mind on them, and they turned on them quickly.
Yep.
I think a lot of people are not seeing what you're seeing because they don't want to see it.
Totally.
People don't want to see it because there is zero evidence to look back on that this group can do it. Mm-hmm. And it's like we're talking about, retooling.
I mean, the year ago they had 108 points.
For sure. But they didn't get over that. They ultimately didn't get over the hump. Yeah. And I'm not even totally against what you're saying here. Yeah. But I'm just saying the reason for the pushback is because people believe even if they get in the playoffs,
totally,
they're going to choke like they always do.
They're not going to choke. They're just not good enough, Sam.
Well,
the group's not good enough.
Sure. And listen, it's changed from early times where we thought they were good enough and they choked to now where it's like maybe they were never good enough in the first place. But the conversation's clearly changed.
So let me ask you something here. Just in your opinion, because everybody's throwing out retool, rebuild.
Uh-huh.
What is the cut line for you between retool and rebuild? Because if you come back with Morgan Riley, John Tavares, Willie Nylander, and Austin, then, okay, and where you have Nyes and where you have Easton Cowan, I get that too. But, like, when is it a retool? Who needs to leave where it's, oh, that's a rebuild, but this is a retool.
I think it's Austin and Willie. Like if those guys are gone, you're rebuilding. If they're still here, you're building around what, they are calling foundational pieces.
So with Brad, they retooled, right?
Yeah.
And it didn't work.
No, certainly did not.
That wasn't a retool when
It
you
was a
have to go
retool.
get Michelli and
Was a
Nick
retool,
Waugh.
yes.
It's a retool
Yeah, that was a retool.
with the DNA.
Yes.
So I think to Sammy's point, they watched it 12 months ago.
Yeah.
And they're going to watch it again. And what you are essentially doing now is doubling and tripling down on John Tavares and Matthews and Marner, and we'll see where Morgan lies in all of this.
But the pushback to that, if I may, is that just because Brad Treliving didn't do a good job doesn't mean the next person's going to do a bad job too.
Right.
Right? Like, that's the whole reason that you bring someone in to, like, change it, is because you believe, like, there was we had Free John yesterday.
What is the change? What is the significant change? Getting Michelli out, getting...
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm
Right?
not going to be the guy running the team.
No,
I'm just
well,
saying,
tell me what you think it could be.
I'm saying just adding a couple of decent players. You're not that far away.
Frege came on our show yesterday, anyways. But it's not for me to sit here and pour over the free agent list and pour over guys that are undervalued on other teams or whatever.
Mm.
But I just think it takes some creativity. And when the Pelley sits up there and says, we're looking for data-driven, blah, 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 whatever he said, I think you're hoping that they put somebody in place that's going to have a little bit more creativity than the prior general manager is.
Like, I think the Pittsburgh thing that you're talking about, like, what is Pittsburgh going to be, or when they win their next cup, is it with Crosby, Malkin, whatever? Probably not. But they want to remain competitive, and they want to take a shot. This is a weird year. Anything could happen a year like this. Like, who knows what they do? But, Anthony Mantha is a risk that he took that for 2.5, who's going to be worth 7.5. You're kind of looking to find a couple of guys that are undervalued currently.
So the flip side of that, and I'll push back to both of you guys here, I don't want whoever they decide to hire, Keith Pelley decides to hire, I don't want it to be in the lane of them only saying that it has to be a retool. I want them to put the best hockey person in charge, and what that hockey person thinks is the best course of action is what I like. If they're going out there and they're asking, they said all the people that are applying for the job, or not applying, but putting their name in the hat. Like, if the best names are saying, I think we should rebuild, I think you have to trust that person's judgment.
No, that's not happening.
But that's what terrifies me.
That's not
They're
happening.
looking for a candidate who's saying
It's
what they want to
already
hear.
written, and it was abundantly clear from Keith Pelley. Don't come in here and tell me that you're going to rebuild. Don't tell me that you're going to go after the highest draft choice you can after you've paid your dues to Boston and Philly. Like,
that's what I hate.
That
part terrifies
me. Like, we're interviewing you now so you can
execute our
sell
plan.
us our idea.
And I think what people who read my article are mad about, and there are many.
And of those, there are many.
All they have to do is listen to our show, and they're mad.
What they're mad about is the idea that they're going to retool rather than rebuild. People say it's not going to work. The rest of the division is too good. They've passed you. We know this doesn't work. You don't have assets to spend. They're mad at the idea of the retool. But I think, and I will say some smart people, in my opinion, read my article and reached out and said, it's crazy that people can't see that this can be a good team next year. Like, it's very clear to me that this can be a good team. Now,
Great?
right.
Good.
Right.
Yeah.
But I think if you're good and you get to the trade deadline, you're going to have people going, boy, if we bought, there's a fantasy people have about just get in and you never know. That's the old hockey thing. And I think it's some transition years for sure as you try to build up. But
I think come September, there's 32 teams with that if this and if that and a luck here and
for sure. But,
everybody's doing that.
But I mean, they have proven guys. Whether you like Matthews as a cup contending center, at his worst, he's an 80-point, very good defensive center. Like, they have guys that they should just win hockey games. When I tried to say that they should tank, you and Max spent half a segment telling me they just have too much talent to tank. And then they can't have not enough talent to not tank. Like
Yeah,
it's
they're really caught in that
right.
no
They're
man's
They're
land.
mushy middle right now.
Right. And that's kind of it. Right now they might finish 6th worst in the league. They're not that bad.
So yeah, I just like, for example, everyone's talking about Doug Armstrong, but Friedge kind of put cold water on that for me yesterday, talking about just the way he was wording it. But if Keith Pelley called Doug Armstrong, what was the name of the ownership guy for St. Louis?
Stillman.
And for
Tom Stillman.
And for some reason, Tom Stillman was like, "All right, you can go." He has this huge change of heart, and him and Pelley sit down and have a conversation. And Doug Armstrong, who I trust is a really smart hockey guy, is like, "Hey, Keith, like my opinion is probably should start to tear the screws down to it." And he's like, "No, I don't want you here because of that."
Yeah.
That is when it starts getting really scary for me.
I will say, I think if you look at, the financial health of the Toronto Maple Leafs over a 5-year span, you're better eating it for a couple years and coming out the other side with hope and wins. Look at the Blue Jays, what they're able to do now. They're packing the barn for.
Yeah, I scored one against the Rockies yesterday. Let's get a little.
And how many people were there? Midday Rockies, 38,000 people
crazy.
came.
Yeah.
You make this money back when you're good. So middling it is a big risk, but I know they don't want to bottom out. So, and I do think you got to try for half a year next year. And if we're sitting here in December and the Leafs are 13th in the East or something, I'm going to be all over it. Like, okay, we tried, it didn't work.
The really scary parallel, and I don't know if I've brought this up to you guys on the show before. Probably have. We've talked about the Leafs for 2 hours every day for 5 years. But next year being the Canucks is the scary thing to me.
Yeah.
Where, if you remember, they were trying to win this year.
Yes.
They were trying to be a good team this year.
Yes.
And it's having Quinn Hughes and Austin Matthews in the exact same scenario in their contracts at the same time. Like going into next year being like, we're a good team. We're going to win and compete and retool. And then just delaying the inevitable by 4 months where it's like you get to see that Austin Matthews actually isn't that good anymore and he's actually washed up or whatever. Like there's just that part of it is scary too.
The good part, though, I assume they're not going to get a top 5 pick this year. And so it'll be top 10 protected next year.
Yeah.
That's,
But then you lose the one the next year?
Yeah.
If you don't give it up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You just kick it down the road.
Yeah. So you don't
Which really,
God, that's
which is even a worse thought because all you've got now is a 31-year-old Austin Matthews who now has to make a decision on resigning or not.
right.
Yeah, and I think part of this is Matthew-centric, too. You want to show him that you're a team trying to win. Willie just said he doesn't want to be a part of not that, basically. And
All right, do we have any sound on that at all?
by the way, just for this analogy,
yeah,
Elias Pettersson never bouncing back is scary.
Totally.
That it was like superstar, not a superstar. And everyone's like, well, hang on. And this year he's worse than
He's
ever
the exact same guy.
All right, so
Willie?
that brings us up to Austin conversation and a Willie conversation and where they sit. We did hear from Willie, right?
Well, it was in the Athletic.
okay.
So they wrote an article. CJ wrote an article about it.
Yeah.
Him and Jonas Siegel, and he basically said that. I mean, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but if there's going to be a rebuild, and if it's a retool, I'm here. Yeah. So what do you make of it?
No real surprise there, right? Like at this point of all of their careers.
I guess it's interesting because people tend to think that Willie's like a I do whatever I want kind of guy. And the fact that he'd be willing to hang in there for some not cup chasing years.
But that is
good.
Willie saying, I can do whatever I want. I could decide to stay. I could decide to go. That is kind of Willie doing the
Well,
same.
I tend to think of a guy who does whatever he wants as being like, they're not awesome. I'm not here. See you later.
But he kind of just
Well, he
said that a little bit,
He said if we're retooling,
right?
I'll be here.
Yeah.
But if we're rebuilding, I'm not going to stick through a
Yeah.
rebuild.
Right.
Which
I mean, we're into semantics with this stuff, which I
Right.
hate.
And I don't know. I mean, I have my thoughts on, the late, great Borje Salming, where he was one of the best young defensemen probably we've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Still arguably the best defenseman ever, for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
dad's favorite player.
And went through a horrible stretch for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but just chose to stay.
And you're saying the Leafs are bad or he was bad? All the above.
Leafs
No, Leafs were awful.
Yeah.
Boreas still had great value, but I mean, it diminished as, he went on the years, but Borea just loved it here. And he loved everything about Toronto. And of course, right up until we lost him, loved Toronto and considered it his home away from Sweden. But there was also this comfort zone that he didn't want to leave. He just didn't want to go. And Willie could do the same thing. Yeah. He could just say, win, don't really care, love it here, want to stay. The owner, of course, Ballard loved him, right? He had his issues with all the rest of them, including our great Darryl Sittler. But this guy got to pick and choose whatever he wanted. And I don't know. Sometimes I think, is that going to be Willie?
I got to tell you, it is mildly enraging that Toronto is this market that players fear and, it's the media market and all these negative things. Yet the players that want to come here love it so much they don't want to leave. Morgan Riley, I've heard the same thing. Very happy here. No interest in leaving. Really likes Toronto. Very comfortable. Like these guys, they love it. So to me, that's just a separate Toronto aside that it can't really be both things. But yes, I understand your point. So comfort's not ideal.
I'm kind of glad to hear Willie say not be that guy that said, I love it here, I don't want to go. If you don't think it's the right time for you to win a Stanley Cup and that's your top priority, then I tip my hat to you.
Yeah.
I don't want people to stay here because they're so comfortable.
Because they love Sugo. The meatballs are awesome.
God, the chokehold Sugo has got on the Leafs.
The advertising, they have not.
But am I missing something?
Have you seen the hats that they wear? The Sugo hats?
No.
It's like an Italian restaurant.
Have you been there?
On Ossington, right?
I don't think I have.
It's at
Whatever.
It's on Bloor Street. It's by Bloor and Lansdowne. It's
fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
Do they deliver?
Well, they might now that I've mentioned
is anybody listening, please?
Send us a meatball.
Send us a meatball. We'll try it on air during our show.
It's been a while since
But
the good
these
old
guys
fashioned
all wear
band.
the hats. They all go. It's a...
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want guys staying for meatballs. I don't.
Not even Swedes.
Where was that place we went with Gibby? That was meatballs. I'd stay for those meatballs.
Modus.
That's
our buddy Sammy.
You get one meatball, but it's
Sammy, if you're listening, send some meatballs over too. We'll have a meatball off.
The free hat hour. But I had the exact same thought as you, Kyper, but a different reason for it. If the Leafs, listen, like we're talking about a potential retool, but where this is all headed eventually is a rebuild. Like there's a couple more years here where.
So to my point, you
Yes.
can, Justin.
Yeah.
There might be enough to get back into the race.
Right.
But with Willie, him saying what he said to The Athletic, like he's got a full no move clause, right? But the fact that he's already said that, I'll stay if we retool, but if we're rebuilding, ciao. It's like, okay, well, they actually may be able to extract some value for him if they do potentially decide to trade him because he's willing to go.
Yeah.
Like look at Riley. He hasn't wanted to go. They haven't been able to trade him. If there is some willingness from him, that makes me a little bit. I'm surprised to hear him say that right now. To be honest,
you were leading down the path there before of just saying they may have enough to be okay next year or whatever, but it's going to get to a rebuild
Eventually. And the same thing with the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm sorry, but like it would be great if your best players weren't late 30s.
Well, and everyone talks
and they
about,
are.
Listen, I don't think you're wrong. I don't know for sure what, if you can bridge the transition and make the gap years shorter so you have a good year while you draft a whole bunch and all that. But like Boston, everyone references, Boston's no good.
But 2 years is of no kind of draft well. Like you gotta put that on the side. You're gonna have to do this without that. And
here,
Montreal didn't have to start with their first 2 years without like blue chip prospects, Buffalo, all the teams that Pelley talked about that passed them this year, all built up their stock over the years.
Being terrible forever, Kip.
I know.
Almost every case.
I know. So the Leafs weren't terrible forever, but they gave those picks away.
Yes.
They might as well have been. It doesn't matter how you gave them away. But
listen, I just think that those teams are what you're trying to do is you're trying to build in this transition behind the, and trying to shorten the gap so you're not 9 years out of playoffs. Pittsburgh may have a rebuild, but it's going to be shorter because they're doing it as we're watching them make playoffs.
And
they have a million picks.
I know. And they've got assets, and you can flip them over, and you can turn it into a 25 or 26-year-old.
Quicker.
And they're in better position, no question.
But the Leafs are at the front of it, and I hear what you're saying.
Okay, let's go to Craig Berube for a Kyper's Clipper on how quickly they can get back to being good.
This is from yesterday. Go ahead. Clip 2.
Yeah, no, of course I believe that because I've seen it. Yeah. Now, it's been a down year, and we all know that, and we had to be better, and we weren't. We didn't. There's different things, but these foundational players have done it for a while here, so there's no reason they can't keep doing it. They need support. 100% they need support. The team needs to play as a unit in the team. It's not just all on them. And that's everybody, goalies, everybody, coaches. So that's what makes it go.
I did Bunk's show yesterday, and his point was just the frustrating part is saying that those guys need support because for years it's been got to fill in around the core, give them support, the core fill in, help them, get them help, rather than eventually just being like, you guys got to figure it out.
But just how does that happen here without any type of support coming from the Marlies or draft capital? How can they do that? Are you going to take another crack at finding a Michelli for a third or fourth rounder? Like, are you starting to all summer? You got to throw darts up and play Moneyball?
Yeah.
I think the point you're getting at is that you don't think there is a way to do it.
I think it's really tough.
Yeah.
Really tough.
Yeah.
And this isn't a knock against Doug Armstrong or some unknown next superstar. The cards are stacked against you. Mm-hmm. The odds. Like, give it a try. Give it a try. But it's going to be tough.
Yeah. It is. Tough game, tough league.
And that's why they make
10 years of trying and failing.
And that's why they're going to pay them millions and millions of dollars to hire the right person to come in and try to figure it out, I guess. I don't know.
The only other add-on I want to make to this is that the people are talking about the Atlantic like it's the AL East in baseball. And I'm not sure that it is. Montreal is awesome. Yeah. I think Montreal is going to be very good.
Yeah.
I'm not as sold on literally every other team. Ottawa, yes, I really like, but they got to figure out the goaltending thing. But, there's question marks up and down the Atlantic. Is Florida just going to bounce back?
I don't know.
Is Detroit still a non-playoff team?
Not really impressed with Buffalo's defense?
I really am impressed with Buffalo's defense. I'm not impressed with their forwards at all. So, they're better than the Leafs for sure. I don't think they're unbeatable.
Yeah, I'm a little bit... I think it's a really in and out division, and lots of teams, look at it this year. Florida and Toronto both out of there. I don't know. It's a pretty tough division, but
it's good. It's a good division, no doubt about it. I'm just saying it's not. I don't think it's getting overhyped.
Okay. Let's have a Craig Berube conversation here for a second. So Keith Pelley makes the decision on firing Brad Treliving, but he leaves the decision on Craig Berube to his future hire. Mm-hmm. Does that surprise you at all?
Well, I guess no. Just like, what's the point now? You're not trying to win games anyway. Get through the season and sort it out.
Are you a believer that it's inevitable they're going to let Craig Berube go?
Well, I feel like you're asking me this because now you're not.
I don't know where I am on that, but my gut feeling is that they really like Craig, and I think they're rooting for him. But to Keith's point, I'm not going to make that decision. Yeah. I think he would have been gone already if they just if there wasn't something there that maybe they felt like maybe there's a way that he could stay.
Well, I think there's two things. Is that Keith went up there the other day and he said, I'm not going to decide who's playing left wing. And that is a hockey decision. Is the coach coaching well? Is the structure, watching structure and buy-in from a hockey team is a very expert thing. It's tough to do. Unless you really know, it's tough to see it. So for him to come in and do it, I think would be telling you who's going to play left wing. So this makes sense to me. Let someone who knows make the call. He doesn't have to do it, and I think it makes sense. But if you think, here's the thing. I
don't think it's 100% that he's gone, but there's also a part of me that says that the easiest way to retool is to get a new coach too.
Well, I am so all over that, not because I think Berube's a bad dude or anything.
No,
but
because it just needs change.
The easiest thing to do, change one guy where there's no salary cap and see if someone else can. You did get the impression at times that the most important people on the team didn't fully buy in to what he was selling.
Oh, you mean when the guy went up to him with his ear to his hand to his ear after he shot a puck in practice?
There were moments like that, and it's like if those guys don't follow what the coach says, the guys below him aren't gonna, and then no one's listening. So if we're worried that no one's listening,
let's play a clip here on coaching through this season. Clip 4, please. It's a little longer one.
What do you enjoy about the process, even when you're in this situation, the coaching of it? Like, where do you find the joy down the stretch like this for you as a coach?
Yeah, well, that's what I like to do. Obviously, I love doing it, and it's been my life. So whether we're in the playoffs, out of the playoffs, I get it, and there's all this uncertainty. This is what I do, and I come to the rink with the same attitude. That's the truth. I come with the same attitude every day, and I coach them the same way.
What allows you to do that? Like other people might get down.
No, I mean,
how was that possible?
I'm down, lost a friend and a GM. Like I told you guys that bothers me, but I know that's a business and that's the way it goes. But like I said, I've always felt very fortunate to be in the NHL and be part of the NHL, from a player to a coach, all that, and I just don't take it for granted. I just don't. I know I'm 60, but like I said, I'm a lucky guy to be part of it.
Not a great run.
I can't believe his consistency through this.
Truly,
like what Luke asked him to me is when I was listening to the scrum after Mark Masters asked him like, how do you? And I was actually thinking it halfway through his answer, like, how do you stay this? I guess maybe that's what the money is for or whatever. And like, that's why you're paid a lot to be a coach.
Just say he's a pro.
But he is a pro. Like, it's insane. He's
a pro.
It's the center of the hockey universe. The team is melting around him. The coach is
sleeping through earthquakes.
And he's just like, yep, I like to coach and I'm a coach. It's just like, that's insane to have that composure. It is.
There's also this element of me. I don't know if you saw this, but like one of those tech founder CEO guys recently did an interview and he said, like, I just do zero introspection. I just plow it forward. I don't think about it. I go to work and I never do any introspection, which for me is super unhealthy. But I think that's Berube. He comes to work and he's just like, I don't sit here and think about who I am or what I've done. We just show up. We try to win the next game.
Let's get the battle drills going, boys.
It is, though. It is that lunch pail, 3.5, fourth line mentality.
Yeah. Like I can't change yesterday.
I'm telling you, I'm kind of the same way. Yeah. I am kind of the same way. And the ones that, I didn't have the longevity of Berube or Domi or Rob Ray. Those guys did it for almost 20 years, for God's sakes. It's insane. I'm broken. Oh, yeah. 12 years later, trying this, I'm done.
No shortage.
Those guys just had those horse blinders on that, buildings could be falling around them, even an earthquake in San Jose. And he's the one guy I can guarantee you that could sleep through it.
And he got almost decapitated by a gym machine and was like, yep, I'll coach tonight.
He didn't try to hide it. He's just like, yeah, my head's falling off. Tonight, the forecheck's going to be a 1-2-2.
This guy's been through it.
Fast and Furious stand up. They're going faster now. He's just got this, I don't know, ability to just carry on.
Anything else from
mailbag,
our clips?
Want to go mailbag? I got a bunch of questions.
Are we going to break?
Yeah, let's go to break.
All right, we go to break.
It is 4:35.
And when we return, Sammy's mailbag is back.
We went a day later. A day later for the mailbag, a day earlier for Doug.
Ooh.
Off the rails.
And
Yeah,
a day earlier for Doug MacLean at the top of the hour. So plenty more from Real Kyper and Bourne. Stick around. hour edition of our program. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee.
Before we get into the mailbag, do you have notifications back on your phone?
I don't.
Okay,
I
because
don't.
It's in settings.
I think I accidentally shut it off.
I'll fix.
I'm
I'll
not
fix it
even
for you.
sure how to turn it back on.
I'll fix it for you. But we now have two separate group chats where me and Barney, we're like high school boys trying to get their girlfriend's attention. We're like sending in two separate, a WhatsApp, an iMessage. We're twisted in
Knocking
the
on
wind.
his door at home.
Twisted in the wind over here, Kippy.
I'm telling you, I think there's no more room for water in my sponge right now.
We'll get squeezing. We'll make some room. Okay.
So this is one that kind of stuck in the craw, Leaf fans, from the press. Well, it wasn't even from the press conference. It was from after, where he mentioned, we had a bunch of different ones about this, so I'll just kind of summarize about the tank and about how he said he wasn't willing for them to tank. There won't be tanking or whatever he said. We didn't talk about that after. What did you guys make of that? Was that a guy that's just like, I can't say that we're going to take?
As the head of an organization, can you even admit you're trying to lose? Like, wouldn't the NHL be furious if a team came out and said, yeah, we're trying to lose?
Nobody would ever do that. Right?
Well, right. That's why, when people are like, I can't believe Pelley would say that. It's like, of course he said that. I don't think you can claim you're trying to lose.
Yeah, correct. I'm with you 100% on that. Yeah, it's crazy that they think they're going to get any other response other than the one that he gave them.
And that's fine if behind closed doors they're like, a little wink or whatever, but that's not
There's
how you
so
portray.
many ways. The one thing that I had wished that they would have done is to tank without tanking. And we've had this conversation before.
Barney only wrote about it January 31st.
Right?
So.
Yeah,
And
just missed.
Yes, you're right that once you hit that cutoff line, I think what they needed to do is just start whatever you think is as close as a player with the Marlies that looks like he could compete for a job.
His name is Ryan Tverberg.
Just
Not sure if I'm
bring him
pronouncing
up and this is a great time to evaluate what we have in the organization.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't necessarily mean that you got to fake injuries, but if a guy like Matthew Nyes was talking about not being 100%, hey, take the day off.
For
We're
sure.
gonna evaluate this guy. We're gonna give him 14 minutes
Stolars
tonight.
go to the hospital. You say, take 2 weeks. We're
And
going to give
Also,
some run.
as a coach, like Craig Berube, don't have Morgan Riley out there with Willie Nylander. Have him with the fourth line. There's ways that you could kind of slow it down a little bit and nobody would notice that.
Yeah.
Well, Phil Myers back in the lineup.
Right?
Villeneuve couldn't have got one look.
No, there's just ways of splitting up the power play or having your second unit or your third unit out there for a few minutes. There's just ways that you could have
But without coming out and saying,
just.
hey, we're
But the magic word would have been we're reevaluating here.
trying some things to see
Okay.
what we got.
This one's from your pal Dan. I was hesitant to read his avatar was a London Knights logo, but I'll read it anyway because I think it's a good question. Do you think the draft lottery will have a material effect on the direction this team takes? And more importantly, should it?
Oh, my God, yes. Massive, massive effect. I mean, they're going to be one of 7 or 8 teams with the highest odds of getting first or second overall. Of course, that would matter a big deal. If you miss, then you're giving up a pick. Then that changes next year where your pick is protected, top 10, which helps.
Boys,
It just
I still watch Seth Jarvis on Carolina going, that guy should have been a Leaf.
yeah.
Dubas panicked on that.
Okay?
Getting rid of that contract.
Panicked.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
And
who he signed with that contract, with that money? Remember?
No.
Andreas Janssen and Kasperi Kapanen.
Is that right? And, they did this with Sean Monahan. I want to say Calgary gave Montreal Monahan with a first to take Monahan, and then Montreal flipped him for another first.
Who made that trade?
so
That was a
if
treat
I'm
trade.
looking at Seth Jarvis, still wondering about him being a Leaf, what's Leaf Nation going to do watching this 6th or 7th overall pick
You mean
with Boston?
You mean the right-hand shot D-man that's going to be a Hockey Hall of Famer?
Yeah,
Canadian
you
guy
mean-
that plays for the Bruins?
You
Yeah.
mean Canadian Chara.
That's common, boys.
Right?
It's common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a very big pill to swallow.
Can I tell you
this
what else scares me?
particular
Yeah.
trade.
The draft lottery means everything. You know what scares me a little bit? Let's say they got the 7th highest odds of getting first overall pick. They win the draft lottery. The top guy in the draft lottery is a small winger. Like, you have to take the best player.
Oh my God, this is so true.
You have to take but it's like exactly what you don't want the Leafs.
2 is the dream spot. Well, then you get another small winger.
It's
1,
McKenna
2,
and Stenberg.
Yeah.
And then it's a whole run of Chase Reed and Verhoff and some of these bigger D and Maholtra as a center. But like, if you finish first or second, would you pick the small winger who is the best player in the draft? Probably.
All I know is
Good problem to have.
But then you reach for
the guy that can
Verhoff or-
the
Trade
player that can help you the fastest will be, I think, one of the defensemen.
Verhoff or Chase Reed.
Chase Reed. They were
I know
lining
you
up.
like him.
They were lining up to see him in London. Okay,
He's a stud.
he is a stud, and I'm not suggesting that he can come in next year and have any type of effect like a Schaefer.
Right.
But they say he's physically talented enough that he
play on
can
a bottom pair and
he
play
could
seventh,
he could help as early as next year. McKenna at maybe $1.55, $1.60 soaking wet.
$1.55, really?
Buddy, he's a vanilla wafer.
Yeah.
Although
$1.55. That was,
So
apparently he can do
that's
some
me in grade.
damage.
That's me in grade
Uh,
9.
you-
There's no way.
but maybe we're looking at Jack Hughes his first year in New Jersey,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Is he strong enough? Is he gets hurt?
He's
Right?
listed as 170 on DB.
Like it might take
So that means he's
it might take
163.
McKenna a little while here.
Yeah. But
And
if he's going to be the most impactful guy from the draft, you got to take him.
I am loving a 25, 30-minute right-handed D.
Yeah.
You can't.
It's a
So hard to
gutsy
find.
If you get
it's
first,
a gutsy
we
move,
trade
man.
down to third.
It's a gutsy move.
Could you get another second or another first to move down 2 spots?
I wonder.
Now we're talking. Just get the pick and worry about it later. This is from Bobby McMissile on Twitter, which is a great handle.
Great handle.
What do you think the odds of prying a younger coach out of college, such as David Carl, is? Is it possible to get him? Would it be worth it for the Leafs?
Oh, I know I'm getting older when I'm like, I just don't trust that I don't want the learning curve. I don't want to see the
It doesn't jive with what we heard in the press conference.
like where the Leafs are going,
Right.
what they want to be. Like
And
there is a learning curve.
I know there's a learning curve, but I'm doing my due diligence. And even if it's DeBoer or Doug Armstrong, I don't like a lot of the arrogance out of the Toronto Maple Leafs over the years. I don't, but I do buy into that. If you want to be a Toronto Maple Leaf, you'll be willing to wait for me to make my decision, and I'm going through it like a fine-tooth comb. I'm not knee-jerking my reaction because I think Nashville's going to beat me to it.
Yeah.
Hey, Doug, if you want to go to Nashville,
Go ahead.
go.
Yeah.
You want to go New Jersey?
50-50
go.
us or them. By the way, I'm not saying that David Carl wouldn't be awesome.
Yeah.
Like, there's a very good chance he'd be awesome. I'm just saying
If Utah
where
hired
they're
him,
at,
it'd be
they're
great.
trying to retool him. Like, just.
Utah, great spot for him. Out of the spotlight.
It's interesting that Friedge mentioned Utah as a potential coach place earlier.
Yeah, who did? Oh, yeah, DeBoer. I had one here. Yeah. From Trevor Shepard. As a lifetime Leafs fan, I've always been overly optimistic about everything. Wow, good for you. To do with the Leafs.
Sounds backwards.
I want your guys' opinion on the first thing this front office needs to do to bring that optimism back, i.e. make a big trade, make a big signing. I know there's nothing, etc., etc.
Really good question. What would be
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Rebuild.
It's trade Morgan Riley. The first thing that'll get people going, yes, we all agree that was the step this organization needed to take.
Yeah, you're probably right. I think rebuild is
I
optimistic.
I just think just bring in. Obviously, we know a general manager's coming in, president, but you need to kind of clean the house a little bit too. There's been a lot of people there that have been there a long time. They've had their chance that goes far beyond Brad Treliving. I don't want to see people fired just for the sake of being fired. And, I know people have family and lives, but you either get the job done or you don't. Mm-hmm. My first thing is like clean out the things that haven't helped you win.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign too.
Yeah, that's fair. Tree can't grow unless you prune it. I don't know if that's true, but you know the idea. It helps it grow. That's what I mean.
So this is from Thomas H. With the new structure in place that appears to be built around a retool, how much surgery do you guys think a new management team would have to do? My sense is over 4.5 guys on the team right now moved off the team this offseason, but would love to hear your guys' thoughts on who's probably gone. We sort of alluded to this in our first segment, but what would be the number for you?
You know what? Yeah, that's a pretty good number. You know what kills me is the Max Domi thing, where he is the perfect culture guy for the Leafs. Like he, with the Gudis stuff and the way he was that game. You saw a quote today. People asked him about culture, and I don't know if we actually have the quote, but basically, do you want to play? Should we play it, or is it too late?
I think we have time.
Okay, well, can you play Max Domi clip 1 on the culture of the team, please?
Keith Pelley yesterday mentioned about the culture was a bit off this year. I'm just wondering what stands out about the team's culture. Is that an area that can be improved upon?
Listen, man, at the end of the day, everyone that's above us, Keith included, obviously they're our bosses and they have to make tough decisions. Obviously that was a tough one for him to change the leadership and all that stuff. But like I said, what happens on the ice is up to us. What happens in that locker room is up to us, and that's on us to be better. So we're not going to get into what went wrong with you guys, and quite frankly, it's none of your business. It's our group's business, and we'll keep it that way. We know we got to do better, and we will.
That's all you need to know about the culture in that room. He just said it. He said, when it's good, I'll tell you about it. When it sucks, it's none of your business.
I also like it. Go kick rocks. Don't worry about our culture. We have the culture. We'll sort out the culture. Like, to me, Domi is the perfect culture guy, but he's a terrible fit hockey-wise in terms of where he fits in the lineup. Then you got guys who are great hockey guys.
They never found a fit for him.
Guys. No.
And that's on them too, they just...
They never gave him a permanent home.
It never gave him a permanent home, a role player. Like, are you a top 3 guy? Because you spend a lot of time being a top 3 guy.
You're also our heavyweight.
But you're also in the bottom 6 on many nights. And then it's like, he's not the biggest guy in the world. No. So he doesn't want to do that every night.
Totally.
He's not his dad.
No. And so the fit was bad there, but he was an awesome culture guy. And you got guys all up and down the lineup, whether it's Matthews, Willie, or whoever, you got great hockey guys. Culture's not quite there. Like, it's just been making it doesn't fit.
Bad cake, like you used to say.
Yeah. So we're like, if it's 4.5 guys, okay. New ingredients, see if it tastes better.
Yeah.
Would somebody take Domi? Would he go?
I think if you watch Leafs this year, you take Domi.
I think there's value there. Absolutely.
I don't necessarily want to get rid of him. I know that's probably, I don't know. I like what he represents.
He's been the best Leaf over the past week. Not just the fights, but he's saying the right things. Yeah. He gets it. But I think
beat the crap out of somebody who wasn't trying to. That must have been fun.
But he also hockey-wise is a tough fit for this team.
Totally agree. All right.
Nice job on the mailbag there, Sammy boy.
Oh, it's our listeners. Thank you to all those on X that sent those in. Appreciate it.
Okay. Just getting warmed up here as we go national next. Tons of fun stuff coming out of Ottawa.
Oh, my God.
What is going on?
Sannies, lock it up.
Doug MacLean next on our Off the Rails special edition Thursday. Don't go away. Here we go. Special Thursday edition of Off the Rails Friday. As we'll be off tomorrow all day.
The rails.
Nice.
It is the Real Kyper and Bourne Show, National Hour Edition. We are live on Sportsnet 650 in Vancouver, 960 in Calgary, and streaming always on Sportsnet Plus. Also available on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube, where we love the chat. We love our thumbs up, especially for our next guest, making a rare Thursday appearance.
I had to put up, I was deciding what jersey to put up. Yes, I actually remembered. And I was going to put up the Sens because for obvious reasons. Then I was like, you know what? I haven't given the Canucks much shine. 8-6 win over Colorado last night. I think they were, plus 350 in that game?
Took that Avalanche and built a snowman.
All right, let's welcome him in. 1972-73 Montreal junior Canadian great, Doug MacLean.
What is happening here? Mario Tremblay.
How good a team is that? Who's the guy second from the top there? You see it?
I don't know. Can we get a closer look? Oh, my goodness.
Great teeth.
5 goals in 31 games, Mac.
Okay, have a look at the nose there. That's like a month after John Wensig broke my nose in 3 places.
What is that logo?
Where are the Al Arbor goggles? Like, I thought for sure you'd be wearing a pair of those.
You know what that is called? By the way, that's a year after the Montreal Junior Canadiens. When the Montreal Junior Canadiens were sold from the parent Montreal Canadiens, they sold the franchise to Kingston in the Ontario Hockey League. The Montreal Junior Canadiens were in the Ontario Hockey League, or the OHA it was called then. Mm-hmm. And then they started this new franchise, basically the same playing in the Montreal form, and they were the Montreal Red, White, and Blue. And they played in the Quebec League. So that was the difference. So,
and then they cornered the market, right? On all the prospects.
What was that?
And then they cornered the market on all the prospects.
Yeah, 100%.
You didn't fall into that, I know.
No, I fell out of that category.
I fell out of that.
So listen,
I was a good culture guy, though.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking of good culture guy, we're willing to let you go if you want to be the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, Please tell me you're dusting off that resume, because we know the culture that you constantly bring our show.
I've been studying goals expected, goals not expected. I mean, it's just been unbelievable. I've been reading up on everything to do with analytics, just in case I get the call, They
just
only
like Lindy Ruff did Clark Gillies' resume. I'll do yours for you, Mac. We'll get you in.
Right. They only have 12 guys in the analytics department there now. I don't think the problem was analytic information. The problem may have been, was anybody reading it? That may have been the problem.
That's 100% what it is.
So, Mac, no question, in the last, 36 hours, everybody's been picking apart the press conference by Keith Pelley. But, what could he have really said after a disappointing season that would have made people feel good, Leaf fans feel good?
You know what? The only thing he could have expanded on maybe is when he was talking about culture and talking about, the pillars and talking about alignment and talking about structure, that he could have moved into a little more depth on that. For instance, when he's talking structure, I would have loved Keith to say, okay, here's the structure that I like. I'm going to hire a president of hockey ops, and the president of hockey ops is going to hire the new GM. And then the new GM, with consultation from the president of hockey ops, will hire the coach or Kyper Bourne, versus just talking structure, pillars, alignment, and so forth. So I think I would like to have heard a little bit more about what the structure really is going to be. And if they're going to run it properly, as Keith said, this is the biggest hire maybe of his career. I thought you and I were, Kip, when we went with Keith at Sportsnet. I thought that was a major hire of his. But, now...
Did he hire you back? Did he for real?
He took us to the Olympics.
Yeah, he took me to the Olympics. I did a 3-minute show every noon hour there.
What was
As
that
I
bar?
said,
What was the name of the bar you did it from?
I checked into the Sutton place for the Olympics. The lady said at the front desk, thanks for joining us, Mr. MacLean. You're going to be with us the next 17 nights. And when I checked out after doing my 3 minutes a day, 17 nights, and saw my bar bill, it was absolutely frightening. The Olympics it was one of the highlights. I just absolutely loved the Vancouver Olympics. But anyway, we were there. But look, the speech was the speech. I mean, what is he going to say? He's not going to talk about who he's going to hire. He's got a major search to go through, and they've got some major decisions to make. And I like what Nick said earlier. They've got some house cleaning to do there too. Mm-hmm. They really do. Like, let's look at a lot of other things in this organization other than the general manager and the coach. Let's have a look at the front office. I look at some front offices around the league, and I talked to you guys about it a couple of years ago. Look at Dallas's front office. Have a look at Florida's front office. Have a look at St. Louis's front office, and you look at, okay, they've got some real experienced people there, whether it's a Rick Dudley or whether it's a Paul Fenton or whether it's a former GMs. Have a look at the surrounding cast there and really build an organization, not just change the general manager. So it'll be fun to watch what they do. The culture of the team is, I listened to Domi talk about the culture. The biggest problem with their culture, as far as I'm concerned, is they're not good enough. The team's not good enough. Totally. And you can talk about culture, pillars, all the alignment. You can talk about all the things you want to talk about, but the team today is not good enough. And it's a lot more than DeBoer or Cassidy or Cooper or whoever you can get to come in and coach and whoever you can get to be the GM. This is a team that needs a major retool. They can call it rebuild, retool, say it's retool, but they have to change. I look at 8 to 10 players at most can be back. And that's on the high side. So they've got a big job to do. And they, and Keith, I liked what Keith said. I don't want to be a left winger. Keith, you couldn't be a left winger in Nick's league. So forget, yeah. And you don't want to be a scout and you don't want to be the manager. That's right. Hire these people and step aside. Yeah. And oversee it like he's an expert in doing. I mean, this is a guy that's overseen TSN, Sportsnet, and did a masterful job at it. So, he's the guy that got the NHL package to Sportsnet. He and Scott Moore, and it was major negotiations to pull that off. So that's his cup of tea. So I just think that they're not a lot worse than 15 teams in the league, but they're a lot worse than the top 15.
Okay,
17.
Part of the press conference, Mac, was Keith showing his cards a little bit with the retool, and we have foundational players, and this isn't starting from scratch. So whether you are the most experienced guy like Doug Armstrong to someone that we haven't thought about, that is a relative unknown, how does that set up the search and the interview process when they come in and speak? Like, let me ask you something. You've been in interviews before for NHL jobs. Do you go in there and tell them what you think they want to hear, or do you tell them the way you honestly feel? Because to get the job, I think we know what the answer is leaning towards.
I'll tell you what I would suspect would happen. There's a group of guys that will go in and just want to talk about what they've done and talk about what they will do. There's another group of people, and I would hope that this is somebody that will get the job, that's going to walk in there and he's going to say, Mr. Pelley, here is my plan. Here is my plan for the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is my plan that I see and I've put in place, that I will enact or put in place going forward. This is the plan. This is not a BS session. This is not, okay, I won a Stanley Cup. I lost in the finals. I did this, I did that. I would want to see a concrete plan and what the attack is going to be to change this team from a bad hockey team to a better team. If it's a retool, if it's a rebuild, that's simple. You get rid of everybody and you start drafting and trading and so on. But a retool is a much different plan. And look, they've got some good pieces there. They really do have some good pieces there. So let's see what the plan is going to be. And, Keith's saying it's going to be data driven. Come on. Every team in the league, if they're not data driven or data is heavily involved, they're idiots. They're idiots if they're not using it. It's information. It's a tool. It's good information. So to say it's got to be data efficiency, to me, you're behind the ball already because every team is using it. Some more than others. Yeah. Some more than others.
Mac, this seems like maybe a slightly different interview process than what I'm used to hearing about around the NHL, because Keith himself is not hyper connected. To me, when I see hires around the NHL, a lot of you guys, Mac, you know each other. You know of 3 guys you really like for the job, and you call them all and you say, I like these 3 guys. Let's hear your pitch or whatever it is. I mean, how often in an NHL job interview is it genuinely show me your best plan versus just a couple of guys played together and the guy trusts the other guy and they're going to figure it out?
Okay, so I'll give you an example. I went into Columbus to interview for the general manager's job in 1998 or whatever it was, long time ago. I had a couple of good friends, one in particular who was a writer and was a hockey guy. And he and I put together a 100-page document that I presented to the owner of the team. And my good friend did a ton of work on it. He and I talked every day through a 3-week process, putting it together. He had done a lot of research, and I presented them with a 100-page document on this is the plan, for the Columbus Blue Jackets. Jim Clark was involved in the plan. Bob Strum was heavily involved. So I had some really good people that were hockey guys. And that's what we did. So I would expect that it's not hiring a GM 30 years ago. And it's not just, let's have a coffee and talk about it. I remember I interviewed for the Florida Panthers with Bill Torrey. And I met him at the Harbor's Castle when I was working at Sportsnet. I went through an entire package with him that Chris McFarland had helped me put together on the entire depth chart of the Florida Panthers, what changes, where their cap situation was for the next 5 years. And CMAC did a great job helping me with that. Tor was blown away. And I ended up, I thought I had the job. And all of a sudden, Bill phoned me and said that the owner has decided he's going to keep Randy Sexton because he's not going to sell the team. Or he's going to sell the team. And then the team was sold shortly after that. And then Dale Talon got the job a year or 2 later. So I think you've got to go in there and you've got to walk in there and say, Keith, this is how we're going to take this franchise to the next level. And sell them on the plan and make sure it's a realistic plan and then go from there. That's what I would hope would be the case.
Whether you're talking about a GM or even the potential of a new coach, if they let Craig Berube go, how important is it for you that it's an experienced guy? If they're looking at competing for a playoff spot, an 8th place spot next season, or build this up towards an eventual contending team, how important is it that you get an experienced guy as early as, a month?
Let me just tell you something. I had a very experienced GM phone me last week, and we were talking. And you know what he said to me? Doug, who the hell is this guy in Pittsburgh? None of us have ever heard of him. And right today, he's done one of the best coaching jobs in the NHL. Mm-hmm. And he's coaching Sid and Malkin and Letang in the later stages of their career, which would be not an easy job. That would typically fall to an experienced guy. This guy has gone in and done a real good job. And I got to believe the reason he was hired is because he went into his interview and he was unbelievably well prepared and had a plan of action as to how he was going to deal with the team and coach the team, and was unbelievably well prepared. I remember this kid as an assistant coach with Chicago in the USHL. I remember seeing him as an assistant coach with the Rangers, with Nashville, when he was with Laviolette. And to me, he and Sturm have done the best coaching job in the NHL this year. So it's I think you've got to open our minds to the fact that it's not over a cup of coffee anymore. It's a thorough, in-depth interview, and have a plan. And then it's Keith's job to decide if the plan is the right one.
So when I look at a lot of organizations, so I've been talking to people because you know that I like the numbery stuff. And so I know some numbery people.
No, you don't like it. You love it.
I love it.
And I like that you love it because I don't have to read much about it. I just read your stuff.
I'm here to help. But in talking to people, everyone's like, it's going to be a data-centric hire. And the people I talk to are like, there's like not that many of those guys. And then there's a bunch of grifters. Like, how much of this analytics stuff is just snake oil when you're trying to sell data? Like, how much do you need a hockey man, a man who's that experienced? And I'm not saying that sarcastically. You do need that experience of people who've been around, don't you?
Most definitely you need an experienced guy in this job. There's no doubt about that. With respect to data, I talk to teams fairly regularly, and the last question that is always asked in every transaction, what do the numbers say?
Yeah.
We've talked about that in this show. That's always the last question in the room. What are the numbers saying? I talked to CMAC a couple of years ago when he was assistant GM and told me what they did in Colorado. They do all the research on a player, all the research. They do the video scouting. They do the in-person scouting on them. They do the video scouting on them. They put the numbers together. They put the whole package together, and they take it upstairs and give it to Joe Sakic. And Joe Sakic makes the call. Whether we're going to acquire this guy, whether we're going to trade this guy, or what's the course of action going to be. That, to me, is structure.
Yep. You are watching and listening to former 73 Montreal junior Canadian star Doug MacLean.
5 goals.
Five goals in 31 games. And I bet you could describe all of them like they were yesterday.
Ian Turnbull, the star of that team.
Really?
You know who I scored my first goal against?
No.
I'm going to say that it was against the Ottawa 67s. I walked around Dennis Potvin for fun and scored on Bunny LaRock.
If Dennis Potvin heard you say that today, he'd still stick you in the throat.
Oh, would he ever? Would Dennis ever?
Mac, moves in Vegas, moves in Toronto. Does that make a team like even the Vancouver Canucks feel like, all right, what are we going to do?
Here's what's wrong with the Vancouver Canucks organization. The big topic there today is who's going to be their next captain. Who cares who their next captain? Like, seriously.
Do they need one?
They don't need a captain. They need a lot more than a captain. Anyway, they need a captain of the ship.
What do you think?
All right.
Jimmy Rutherford sticks around and has got the appetite to see this thing through?
If I'm Jimmy, I'm sticking around till they show me the door. Why would you leave? I mean, he's got one of the great jobs in the business. I mean, he's won his cups. You know, he's did a great job in Carolina. He did a great job in Pittsburgh. Vancouver's been a little bit of a challenge, but you know, why would he go? I mean,
there are a lot to
if you're
build.
If you're going to hire a GM, I guess Jimmy Rutherford, I'd like to see who his next guy is going to be. I wasn't that impressed with the first one he hired, so I'd like to see what he's going to do on the next one.
Mac, want to get your thoughts. I think you're pretty open to guys having personality. What do you think of the Kachuk brothers having a podcast?
I think it's one of the dumbest things I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
Tell us how you really feel.
I don't understand it. I like, for us to do a podcast, okay. But why are two opposing teammates, or I know they're brothers. I get all that. I know the brothers, Taylor Swift's boyfriend or whatever he is does a podcast with his brother. Well, come on.
Kelsey.
And then you get the old man on there giving his opinion about injuries. And come on, what are we doing here?
Well, we're grabbing attention. That's what we're doing.
It's a bad move. It's bad for Brady in a tough Canadian market where they're fighting for their playoff lives. It's no good for the other kid in Florida. I just don't get it. I'm shocked. I know people say, oh, it's great, it's cute. The players are showing their personality. Show your personality tonight in the game and score the winning goal and try to help your team into the playoffs. That's what I'd be trying to focus on.
It does.
I don't like.
It does lend to distractions, unnecessary, distractions.
There's enough distractions. I mean, the Ullmark distraction in Ottawa this year. Can you have any more of a distraction than you need? Then he follows that up with, I can't play, I'm tired. And then he follows that up with 5 goals in the first period. Like, isn't that enough distraction instead of getting on a podcast and bringing it up again? Enough already.
A ton of games tonight, but is there any bigger than Buffalo and Ottawa?
You don't like where I'm going. You're changing the subject.
No, I'm good.
He always phones me. I want the fans to know this. Kippy always phones me in the app. What are you going to say? We got to be careful.
Buddy, you scare me to death, okay?
We're walking a tightrope every time you're on, Mac.
Every week, I'm like, is this going to be my last show? Because somehow, let me finish. Somehow,
I've been doing this for I've been doing this for 10 years, and the only person that's ever got fired is me. And all the other guys are surviving.
I'm scared I'm your first, okay? That's it. So, hey, Ottawa season's on the line tonight against Buffalo?
Yeah, it is. And I've been you guys, I've been talking about Ottawa since the start of the year. I really like their group. I love where they are as a franchise. I really do, except they got to get a new goalie. He's got to be gone, and they need a new number 1 goalie. So I've been a big fan of Ottawa all year. And I'd love to see them get in. I think it's such a race. I mean, Columbus are right there. Ottawa's right there. Now, I'll tell you who's right there is Washington are right there. Washington are right there, and they're winning games. And I'd be scared of Washington. So.
Yeah, no, the one thing I wanted to get before we let you go is the thoughts on that West playoff race. Like, we got Nashville, who's been no good. They're in. San Jose's struggled. St. Louis has struggled. The Jets have struggled. Someone's going to make playoffs. You like anyone out west?
I like the way the Jets are playing right now.
Do you?
And with Hellebuck, you've got to say they've got a chance. They play in Columbus coming up. Columbus has got Carolina tonight. Then
Dallas
they got Winnipeg
tonight.
Coming in.
Winnipeg, Dallas tonight.
Yeah. The Jets are in Dallas.
Jets are in Dallas.
Yeah, and then they're in Columbus next week. I mean, they got a tough road, but I like the way they're playing. And with Hellebuck, it's like the Bruins to Swayman. Like, I watched Swayman last week. He plays at home, and then he plays the next night in Columbus, back to back. Why did he do that? Because he knew that was one of the biggest games of the year. Mm-hmm. And Swayman played.
Play them. I'm in favor.
Big time. Play them. Play the snot out of them this time of year.
And whatever happens, there's some nervous teams if they play the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah, Montreal's right there. And, I mean, it's kind of fun. I mean, they'll be a fun team to watch in the playoffs. I'm not sure they're ready to get it done. Jill, hi, welcome home. Okay, Jill just got home. Anyway.
All right.
She's not going on the air. She's busy.
Put her on the air. She's like Vera from Cheers. We want to see her.
She hasn't got the patience for you guys. Yeah, it's going to be fun. I mean, the next 7 games are going to be fun. I think Columbus have got to go 6-1 to get in. Most teams have got to go 6-0, 7-0 to make sure they're getting in. It's probably going to take 100 points to get in the East. So we'll see what happens.
Goalie fights. You like them?
Love them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shesterkin. Can you believe Shesterkin?
You love them, except you're scared to death they may get injured. That's what you don't like as a coach or as a GM. As a fan, they're always fun. Yeah, Shesterkin, well, he can fight it. He can get injured now. It doesn't really matter, but Sorokin can't, although he's got to be a lot better if what is going on with the Islanders? Every time I expect them to win a big game, they fall flat in their face. I mean, come on.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's
weird defensive efforts. I don't know if it's Patrick Waugh related or just not good enough, but they're sometimes they just can't defend a lick, and they got decent defensive players, so I don't know.
It's been bizarre the way they've come out lately. So we'll see. And then they win a big one. So you know what? I just wanted to get over with and get into the playoffs. I think we're going to have great playoffs.
Yeah, I'll
watch the first round and go from there.
There's sometimes when we have you on the show, I just want to get it over with too, right? Thank you for giving us at least another week on the air.
Guys, I really appreciate you having me on. And I just, you know what? I'm on the edge of my seat waiting to see if Sammy's going to text me or not, whether you need me or not.
Let's, well,
and listen,
all the time.
I don't want to see you like on every other podcast either. You're our guy, okay?
I've got to do one tomorrow for somebody I've never heard of, but he said to me, he's a nice guy. He sent me a note. He said, I love listening to you guys on Real Kyper. Can you do my podcast? So I'm doing his podcast tomorrow morning. I think it's a goaltending podcast,
You're easy.
which I'll be really good at,
We're getting you work. We're getting you work.
Yeah, really.
Dust
It's
the resume
work
off.
I don't need right now.
All right.
Maybe
Mac,
the
future general manager.
Hold on. We got to buy the way.
My handicap is 13, Nick. My game has changed since I played.
13.
13.
I thought you got a personal trainer, not a golf coach.
That's from the senior tees. Senior tees, 13 handicap.
All right.
Player. He's a player.
Doug MacLean, everybody. Future general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Yeah. It's not out of the realm that would he still work? Would Max still work? I guess I should have asked him 9 seconds ago.
I think
Probably still there.
I think he would, but like it'd have to be like
The right
working
situation.
around his trainer in yoga and
Someone on the East Coast.
yeah.
All right. Well,
Just checking out the Montreal Junior Canadiens 1971-1972 roster. I mentioned it there with him, but the star of that is Ian Turnbull.
yeah.
Had 82 points in 63 games there with Doug MacLean on that team.
He was really good too.
Yeah, he was
Turnbull
really
or Mac?
Turnbull.
Did you ever see Mac play?
No.
I mean,
No, I'm much younger. Come on.
I was gonna say, do they have TVs then?
But I did play him against him like 3-on-3 in practice.
Oh, did you?
Really?
With the Washington Capitals.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
Did
I think
you-
he put on shin pads after
Is that how
like
you
the
know
first
Mac?
or second day.
He was an assistant with the Caps, or
Yeah.
what was? I
Assistant
literally
coach.
didn't know that. Did you know that?
Of course I
The
knew
late
that.
Brian Murray, head
yeah,
coach, Robbie Laird,
I thought you knew
Barry
him from here.
Trotz, and Doug MacLean.
Really?
Yeah. And then
Wow.
we play 3-on-3 after, and it's always nice sometimes to be able to give an assistant coach a shot here and there and hit him in the shins and go, oh, sorry, I didn't mean that.
Guys are still good though. I remember playing with our assistant coaches in college. Like, they're still players, man.
You don't
Yeah,
really
but not
lose
Doug.
it.
Yeah.
Not Doug. No. How many playoff games did he play for the Montreal Junior Canadiens?
Dashes.
0. Absolutely 0. Feathers.
So rude.
All right.
Game time?
Game time. This hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bet365, by the way.
Yes, it is.
All right, go, Sammy.
They're beloved.
The Montreal red and white. The red, white, and blue. That's a horrible name for a team. It's game time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. 14 games on tap tonight, boys.
14.
Yeah, it's a lot of hockey games. I would say highlighted by the Buffalo Sabres and the Ottawa Senators. Buffalo Sabres with their a chance to clinch a playoff spot for the first time since 2010-2011.
This is the night.
Hey, by the way, do you know who the general manager of the year was that year?
What was the year? Sorry.
2010-2011?
Okay, quickly. Go,
No,
guess.
I don't know.
He's
I don't
Brian Burke.
Mike Gillis.
It's meant to be.
Quickly tell me, where were you in 2010, 2011?
Arizona. I lived in Chandler, Tempe, and I was writing for the score.
How old were you? 12?
28 or something.
I was skipping class at Georgian College in Barrie watching Hockey Central at noon. Probably smoking a little weed here and there.
Not saying, just saying.
Here and there.
Buddy, we can tell. Don't worry. Look, with those brain cells so far apart.
Yeah. So anyways, Buffalo Sabres plus 100 tonight on the money line. Ottawa minus 120. They're factoring in that Ottawa needs this one tonight, boys. Another good one later on. Your Toronto Maple Leafs, Kipper, in San Jose to take on the Sharks. I saw this stat today. MacLean Celebrini, the Sharks are 1-16-3 this year in games where he doesn't get a point. That's from Michael Amato on Twitter. That's an insane stat. So you think the Sharks are going to win? Parlay it with a MacLean Celebrini point.
Smart.
And another, it's crazy that this is a big game, but a huge game in the Western Conference playoff race. The Nashville Predators in LA to take on the Kings. LA minus 125 on the money line. Nashville plus 105. Go Kings, go. Got to get that Leafs pick up to a second.
Bowl.
Just, how is that a playoff race game? It's crazy.
Those teams might finish with 85 points at best
Sick.
and make playoffs.
They're tied with the Leafs. It's insane. Anyways.
Go Jets.
Yeah, I guess we could root for the Jets. That was Game Time presented by Bet365, an official partner of the NHL, must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly.
Jets being 2 points back of a playoff spot after this season is unbelievable.
It's a big night for the tank for the Leafs.
Yeah.
It's a big night for the
I am
tank.
totally focused on Ottawa and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Ullmark getting the start. We got some sound coming out of Ottawa on that. We got Doug MacLean's take on the latest podcast between the Tkachuk brothers.
He was fairly indecisive on it, wasn't he? Not a real strong opinion.
We'll get our thoughts.
And text 590-590.
And text 590-590. Still a lot of meat on the bone on the Real Kyper and Bourne Show. Don't go away. As a reminder, this hour of Real Kyper and Bourne brought to you by Bets 365. Nick Kypreos, Justin Bourne, Sammy McKee. Before we get into the Ottawa situation, just prior to the show, like I'm looking at your face, and I know there's so much out there on Tiger Woods. Okay, and let me just ask you something. Okay, regardless of how you feel about the situation or whatever happens to him. Whatever. As a society, do we need to witness what could be arguably the worst moment in the man's life? Do we, what is going on here?
Yeah, Kip, I think that's a really good point. We obviously don't.
Why?
When
did this happen?
What he, has done is not acceptable, and driving like that and whatever he could.
That has nothing to do with
it's completely unacceptable. But I'm not sure I need to see the car cam of him going through it. I mean, he's one of the most famous guys on earth. And if people have that video,
we just saw the Timberlake footage.
They're sending it in. And it's the world we live in now, and you don't get a moment of...
does someone sell that, though?
Yeah.
Is that what
100%.
happens?
I don't know.
100% that's what happens. TMZ offers money to somebody, and they're like, yeah, that's a lot of money, TMZ. And TMZ's like, we'll buy it. And then TMZ's like, I get clicks now. And then that's kind of how the transaction works. And it sucks, and it's just kind of the reality.
It does suck.
But it's hard to see. I mean,
It's hard to see.
Tiger Woods, I will say right now, is one of my favorite athletes of all time, and it's really a horrible
consensus
situation.
is just he needs help now.
He needs big time help.
And this is
it's dark.
Yeah, we're witnessing his rock bottom. You hope.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Okay.
Speaking of rock bottom, Ottawa Senators.
Well, I don't know about rock bottom.
I'm joking. I was trying to make a.
All right.
Trying to make light of the situation.
Hey, leave the segues to me.
Tough crowd.
Disagree with that segue.
Sorry.
Lots of controversy over, I think, the podcast that Brady Tkachuk and Matthew are a part of.
Yeah.
Wingman.
Yep.
Do you want to start with that or start with the Ullmark stuff?
No, let's stick with the podcast.
Okay.
Oh, no. Okay. I mean, you want to do Ullmark because it sets up the podcast a little better?
Well, tonight.
Ullmark's playing.
He's starting tonight. And we have a few clips from Travis Green, who was, I've listened to a lot of Travis Green, fired up today. Okay. As fiery as I've heard him. This would be his, on the decision to start Linus Ullmark tonight against the Buffalo Sabres.
It's easy. Yep. Yeah, he's our guy. To be honest, last game, I pulled him, but pulled him more because the team was so not because of him.
So that's the first one.
Doing the right thing here.
On defending him. And then the next one is, this is the first time they've had a chance to follow up about the comments after the game on Saturday against Tampa. So they were asked again, and this was his response. Clip 2, please, Derek.
I pretty well stand by what I said. I want him to play every night. He's our number one goalie. He's been playing well since he came back. But in saying that, everyone in the room understands that it's been a bit of a rough year for him off the ice, on the ice. And I think since he's come back from his leave, he's played well. I don't know what our record is since then. And he needed a rest, as simple as that. And, there's not a lot else to say about it. He needed a rest, and he didn't play that night. And we're going to have to win some games with Rhymes in the net, too, and we have before.
Was it like a physical reset, mental reset?
I'm not going to get into that. That's... I don't have to talk about injuries. I don't have to talk about any of that. He needed a rest, and that's fine. And my only concern is getting our team to play, standing behind our players, and I know how good of a team we are when we play, and we don't listen to the white noise. We don't let any of that creep into our room, and obviously there's a lot of talk right now.
That's a good job by Green.
I think Travis Green's a fabulous coach.
Really, really good job.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Okay, I'm not blowing smoke, but I'm just not giving you any more than that. Okay, I gave you what
I want him to play every night,
and he's not hiding behind anything. He's just not getting into the details or the weeds that you want him to. Yeah. And he just was perfect there.
Yeah.
No, I hate to admit it because I hate the Sens, but I love Travis Green as a coach. I think he's really good. So the next thing, kind of alluding to that.
Well, one of the things that I just want to highlight in that is he says the white noise, keeping the white noise out of our room.
Well, there's some white noise coming up here. So this trickled into my feed today. I think it was today or last night. And this was on the Wingman podcast, which you alluded to. This is the first clip, which some people are speculating is Keith Tkachuk, who was on the podcast with his sons, speculated that he was talking about Linus Ullmark in this clip. If you want to play the first one from their podcast, Eric.
And I had a big cast on because I broke my wrist or something in the Olympics. So yes, that's what happens. You play through injuries, guys. Holy Christ, this whole team. My pinky hurts. I'm out for 6 days.
I knew that was coming. I knew right when he said that. I'm like, don't say it. I'm like, don't you say it.
I just had a bad sleep, so I can't play today. Oh, my God. Disgusting.
All right. Well, we're going to move on here.
Can't play back-to-back.
So
Rest management.
That is crazy. I mean, back-to-back, that used to not be whatever. But
Grant Fuhrer played 70 games in 1 year.
I think
72.
76. Yeah.
76.
76.
Yeah.
So they bring up a goalie after.
It's uncomfortable. The dad of your captain and your brother, who's an important player and a division rival, are yucking it up about your goaltender, who you're going back into the room and to play with in a playoff with like 7 games to go. It's not good, man.
No, and there's no other conclusion when you hear Travis Green go, he needed a rest, and then you listen to Keith Tkachuk comment about rest
back to,
right,
like
sleep.
Yeah, they're
right.
Yeah, like he must have had a terrible night's sleep. And
Terrible
said,
night's sleep.
I'm no good
I
today.
need a rest. I can't do it.
All right, well, we'll play the other guy then.
Yeah.
Which, now we're talking about that, which he didn't need. Ullmark didn't need this.
I'm starting to figure out the reason why Keith Tkachuk maybe stopped replying to my texts. Doesn't want to come on air and say something.
This is and Doug talked about it. If you didn't have a chance, please download if you get a chance on Spotify or Apple Podcasts and listen to Doug MacLean, because this is what he alluded to, that there's really nothing that can be gained out of this.
So people are pushing back. Like I've read in the comments of this, and a lot of Sens fans are saying, he's talking about the Panthers. I see people writing that he's talking about the Panthers. I think he was talking about the Panthers at the start when he talked about the finger. I think he was. But saying he said the word start.
And back to back, and he turns the page to Ottawa. 100%.
How can you listen to that and think anything other than him talking about, it was the biggest story in hockey for 24 hours.
It's the connection. It's
Travis Green
rest, and the other one saying sleep.
Yeah. They're having the same conversation.
Okay, it's the same.
Yes.
So, there's that element. And then do we want to do the other one, which I can tee up as well?
Okay,
Yeah.
hold on.
A little more meat in the bone.
Just one more on Keith Tkachuk. Okay, let's set aside the distraction. Let's set aside the Ottawa room. He's not wrong.
No.
He ain't wrong on any of it.
Everyone agrees that Keith Tkachuk is correct.
Heartbreaking. Worst guy he's correct.
Keith,
you're right.
You're not wrong.
No one on this show, to let the record show, has disagreed.
On normal circumstances, we're with you.
That exact conversation has been had
right?
by every hockey guy.
That's an over beers chat.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith, we're good, bud.
Yeah.
We just feel bad for your son going back into the room and then looking at Ullmark and trying to convince him, we weren't really talking about it.
We were behind you the whole way. If you weren't feeling it, it's...
That's a little awkward.
Yeah, like clearly talking whatever behind your goalie's back.
Like Brady needed at that moment. I know it's hard
with your dad,
because you're live and your dad's there, but if that's my dad, I'm shutting him down.
Hey.
I'm going down with the ship.
Well,
okay, until I'm not his teammate. Until we're not teammates, I gotta back him, no matter how foolish I may look. That's loyalty.
Here's the part that stands out to me too, Kip, is
as
that
a captain.
This was not live, and it was said, he tried to put it back in his mouth. They did the episode, and then they released the episode. They had the opportunity to edit that part out.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
And they didn't.
Yeah, and they
so
didn't.
I actually debated, should we discuss it today? And it's like, no, they put it out there.
Yes.
Chose to.
I can't have, if I'm the Ottawa Senators right now, I can't feel good about Brady Tkachuk right now.
And then, what a year for Ian Mendes. Holy smokes.
And then so the next part of this, which if I can make the transition,
yes,
is there's another clip where after the Americans won gold and there was the White House hullabaloo. And, it was tense times for American captain Austin Matthews, Brady Tkachuk here, whatever. And it's really started this whole, like, they're going to leave, right? Like, this behind the scenes, like, everyone's like, are they going to leave? And everyone wants them to stay. And then, so here's the conversation. This is another clip. They're talking about the salary cap going up in clip 2.
Clip 2 from
Tkachuk pod, clip 2.
Yeah.
But the league is good. Like, what's the salary cap this year?
100, maybe 90.
Yeah, and it's going up to what next year?
I think it's continuing to go up. That's huge.
How many years do you have left, Brady?
2 more after this.
Okay.
Nice timing. Well, one of these, we'll talk.
Yeah. That's for another day.
Is that literally tampering?
Sitting in a room full of Florida Panthers gear.
We'll talk?
It's a bad idea.
Is Keith officially like a member of the St. Louis Blues?
Oh, I don't know.
He used to be affiliated. I can look that up, Cam.
Probably an ambassador at the very least.
I have no idea. Somebody mentioned to me he does work for the St. Louis Blues, but I don't know if that's still today. Maybe it was in the past.
And like, I don't actually care about like the tampering factor so much as just this idea of having a podcast where you're sitting in there talking about this stuff and you're so important to your team and your contract status makes people nervous and you're in this playoff race and you're talking about, and I know Brady didn't bring that up, but like, what he's surrounded by, including your brother going, we'll talk. It's not good.
It just sets up pitfalls for you.
It does. You had a 100-meter dash to the playoffs and you put hurdles in your own lane.
What's going on?
I went on to the St. Louis Blues website and I went to their front office. Would you like to know what Keith Tkachuk's role with the St. Louis Blues?
Scouting?
It's
pro scouting?
It's director of recruitment.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I mean, I don't know.
Hopefully they just haven't updated their website in a while.
What would you say?
Maybe
you do.
Maybe he
we
quit.
Just saw what he does here.
Maybe he quit a while ago and they didn't update it. I hope.
Is that even a title people have?
I mean, should we move on? Should we move on?
Director of recruitment. When's your contract up?
Anyways, let's play Travis Green's thoughts on Keith Tkachuk's comments. Clip 3.
I haven't seen it. I heard about it. I know Walt really well. He's a friend. I played with him, known him a long time. I know he's outspoken. I'm not sure exactly what he said, but again, that's white noise. Doesn't have any concern of mine or concern of our team.
Director of recruitment.
Saying that,
Director of white noise.
be nice if Ottawa won tonight.
Yes.
God, they need a double.
Absolutely. Looking at their decor tonight, they're rocking Clevin, Zub, Montemapalo, Spence, Thompson, Crody.
Crody?
No.
I believe that's a Toronto slang term. Or something.
Yeah. No Sanderson, no Shabbat, no Jensen. Like, they're pretty deep in the old depth chart here. So, yeah, they're in tough against, obviously, a very good offensive team in Buffalo. Yeah, you need a big night out of your captain. Anyway, a little flustered by that whole conversation. Sure, like, I don't mean to shine a spotlight on some, but that's brutal. That's brutal.
Yeah, that's too many things. So, I think the way Travis Green handled his business today was as good as you can do it as a head coach of a hockey team. So,
MacLean Celebrini
gets points.
What do you think?
Getting wins.
Right up there for MVP?
My honest answer is no. He has been unbelievable. Maybe he's a top 10 player in the league, but like, he's not McKinnon right now, Kucherov. Like, that's, to me, there's a different tier. Right?
Top 5?
Yeah, he'll tease my ballot, I would think. We'll have to look at things. He is what was a Celebrini stat you had?
The Celebrini's stat is that the Sharks are 1-16-3 when Macklin Celebrini doesn't record a point this year. That's from Michael Amato on Twitter. That's a crazy stat. And he can join Steve Yzerman as the second teenager in NHL history with 3 or more points in 3 straight games.
It's crazy how quick with Canada it was like, well,
He's
either
the best
McDavid
guy.
or Celebrini. So
And God, he had one in the slot on the power play at the end of that game. Where
hold
he
it
missed
just a
by
little
it.
bit.
Oh, that one goes in. It's a pretty big story.
So we've seen a jolt from various clubs changing their coach this year. Tortorella going to do that for Vegas?
Well, they're playing the Flames.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about in general.
I just think it's a really good time to do it. You get a couple wins with the new guy, and you start to believe in what he's doing. So,
what's their schedule coming up?
They just did Vancouver. They got Calgary. They'll play Edmonton, but then you get Vancouver again, then Seattle.
Oh yeah, they did that on purpose.
Yeah, they timed that awfully well.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. I saw your boy Millard did a one-on-one with Torts.
Oh, I didn't see it.
And Torts is still same old Torts. He's good. I didn't watch much of it, but he's the perfect.
There's so
mix
much
of
to like about the man.
There is.
Well, he said
incredible tan right now. My God,
it's
March.
He looks fantastic.
It's March.
He
Where
looks
have you
marvelous.
He was obviously on the
Magda
beach.
from Something About
He was
Mary.
like, oh yeah, Kelly puts down the Mai Tai.
Yeah.
He's probably
Vegas, you say?
taking it a quick mill for like 4 weeks work.
Yeah. I'll come in. I'll cash a seven-figure check.
No problem.
But I saw at Morning Scare somewhere they were like, we saw you having a really nice conversation with some of the leaders on your team. Would you care to discuss any of that? No.
Yeah.
End of this done.
Yeah.
It's like he doesn't try to sugarcoat it.
Got a 12:15 at the tanning salon.
It's incredible how quick he pivots from media to like media are evil.
Yeah, I mean he's always kind of, but
he's playing us like a fiddle.
Yeah, he's a light switch. He's either media or media are evil. Good on him. All right, 14 games tonight. Highlights. We're looking at Ottawa versus Buffalo, number 1.
Yep.
The Lightning are playing the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Detroit and Philly is huge tonight.
Monster game.
Detroit, man.
Oh, I got another one for you.
What do you got?
Nashville at LA.
Yeah. That's great.
Large Marge.
It's crazy that's so meaningful. What a horrible.
Doesn't deserve to be.
No, that should be a battle for a tank.
Yeah.
All right, boys. See you Monday.
All right, just like that, we've solved nothing on the Real Kyper and Bourne show.
We might have solved something.
We
I'm
might
not
have
sure we want
created
to.
something.
Yeah.
Our thanks to Montreal junior Canadian great Doug MacLean. Sammy, your mailbag was fantastic too, bud.
I really appreciate that, bud.
All right. And we are off tomorrow. No Real Kyper and Bourne. Yeah. Happy Easter, everyone, this weekend.
There it is.
Look at that guy.
Right? Look at that. Have a great one.